let's talk policy. You say you're okay with the wealth tax originally proposed by Elizabeth Warren.
Actually, that's not true, Jim.
Well, I know you said it on board before you run, but in terms of what I saw, in terms of what she's gotten most publicity for it, let's say.
That's fair.
Okay. To address the income inequality that you're talking about. So your proposal wouldn't tax assets as much as hers. Why?
Well, let me say this.
Because hers is everything over $50 million is 2 cents. You have a graduated thing. $32 million is a half cent. $500 million over that's 1.5 cents, and then $1 billion is 2 cents. That's the threshold.
Mine starts earlier.
Right.
It's more graduated. But honestly, I came out with a wealth tax almost a year and a half ago. Not long before I was running for president, long before Elizabeth Warren. I did it because I thought it was right, that there's something wrong in American society, that we have redistributed the wealth. Look, I took the giving pledge to give the bulk of my money away while I'm alive. So,
like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. And
I did it really to support those guys. But my point about the wealth tax is this. Something happened in American society without anybody talking about it, which is the Republicans changed the tax rules. They changed the way people get paid. They've waged war on working families for 40 years. And it's worked. And all the money's gone to rich people.
But hers would raise more revenue than yours would based on the structure.
Look, she gets to a higher number than I do. I think the point about this is in all taxes, the idea here is to have a wealth tax and to understand what you're going to do. And then we're going to get into the details of negotiating it out. I thought I did one that was fair. I did it early, and I've stood up for it. Is God perfect in any one number in taxes? No. The idea is to get it right in Maine, because it's never going to be perfect.
Another tax area is that you support getting rid of the capital gains tax. I imagine it's to apply it as ordinary income, treat it that way. And that the money generated from that could pay for a 10% tax cut to families that earn less than $250,000. It sounds like this part of your proposal is intended to be revenue neutral. How do you do more, though, to close the deficit besides the wealth tax for this?
Let me say this. That wouldn't be revenue neutral.
Okay.
If we gave a 10% tax cut to everyone in America who makes less than $250,000, we'd have money left over if we treated investment income the way we treat earned income. We'd have money, substantial monies left over.
The 15% tax would be charged at 25
whatever
or 30,
your
depending what their
rate is. But the other thing is this. I would undo all of the income tax giveaways to the richest Americans and the biggest corporations. If you look at our income tax now, it's literally regressive. Warren Buffett said 10 years ago, I pay a lower tax rate than my secretary. He didn't, but now he does. Literally, rich people pay a lower percentage of their income than working people. That is absolutely wrong, and it should change back. Secondly, the biggest corporations, the number came out in December, the biggest corporations in America are paying 11% as an income tax. That is ridiculous. That is way too low. The corporation run by the richest man in the world, Amazon, pays zero tax. That is ridiculous. That is not right. So when you say, how are we going to balance the budget? Look, Mr. Trump promised us dishonestly that if we lowered tax rates on rich people and big corporations, that two things would happen. We would raise more tax money, false, because it would so stimulate the economy that even with a lower rate, we bring in more taxes. False, it blew up the deficit. And secondly, that money would trickle down to the rest of society. Also false. Both of those things Republicans have said for 40 years, starting with Ronald Reagan, and it's never been true one time. The data is in. There's no longer a conversation. We need rich people and big corporations to pay their share in taxes, and that has to change back. We should have a wealth tax, and I would treat investment income like earned income. Why should I be paying a lower rate on investments than someone who goes to work at 8 o'clock in the morning and works all day? Why does that make sense? I don't know.
Let's talk about your record.